Well, that brings me to my next point. When he went up there, he was one of the best wrestlers in the world. He had headlined around the country, but they totally changed his character, made him a gimmick performer. And I'm not criticizing because it worked. I mean, incredibly worked. But why would they do that? Why would they feel the need to take a proven commodity and totally overhaul it?
Merchandise.
Yeah, but they didn't sell merch for heels then, and Ted was a heel.
Oh, I'm sure the $1 Million Man things was sold. I think that was very popular. I don't know for a fact, but I mean, how can you possibly have Becky Lynch beat Charlotte? Merchandise.
Well,
that they don't own yet. It's ridiculous.
That's what I hear. Now, when you went to WWE,
when they own it, I'll let you know.
I know you will. Now, when you went to WWE as Nature Boy Ric Flair, did they consider changing you because you
No.
pretty much as is? Well, talk about those discussions because that might have surprised you to some degree. I'm thinking.
No, it didn't at all. I flew up there, and Vince. What you like about Vince is he tells you eye to eye, doesn't look at the floor, doesn't look at the ceiling, doesn't call somebody, talking to you one-on-one. And he goes to me, I can't guarantee any money, but I'll make you more than you made last year. He said, how much you make? And I told him. And he said, I'll make you more. I said, okay. So, but you know when you make a deal with a man, you can't go south on him because he's looking at you. And he said to me, look, everybody knows the story of Ric Flair. And if I have to hear that Ric Flair story, I'm not going to sit down at lunch with you guys ever again. He said, I don't want you to come up here and try to prove anything to anybody. You just be a regular guy. I'm going to put Earl Hebner with you. And I want you to make sure that he gave poor Earl Hebner the task of taking care of. Like Timmy White had to drive the Giant around. Earl Hebner had to drive me around. Isn't that a rib? You've been...
I've been on that duty in shorter spurts, yeah. It's certainly not for the faint of heart, is it?
Oh my God. Earl Hebner lives in Richmond, right? So did Dave. I took them both to a massage parlor one night in Richmond after the matches. They got home at 4 a.m. They said, and they said, Ric Flair had us driving back down to Greensboro.
Now, what kind of wrestler was Ted before he became the $1 Million Man? Because he was a real work rate kind of guy, wasn't he? Among the very best.
Oh, Ted DiBiase, absolutely. God, he was tutored by Dick Murdoch. I mean, he wrestled all those guys. I mean, I never met Ted's dad, but I mean, his father was a wrestler, and he was raised by the Funks. He was a big card in St. Louis, wrestling the top guys. I mean, that's a great picture of Ted right there. He could go, and I'll always think of Ted as being one of the top guys in the business.
Now, Ted did a different kind of promo prior to being the $1 Million Man too. He was very earnest. I'm not criticizing because Ted did great promos as the $1 Million Man, but it indicates again how they totally changed his character.
Yeah, well, they're all about merchandise, and he was formulating. Vince was putting together something he thought would capture America, not just the wrestling fans. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because America doesn't like somebody who's richer than them, and Ted certainly played that to the Hilton. And I think maybe this is underestimated, maybe I'm overestimating, but I thought that laugh was a big part of it. Ted's laugh was just
great.
Incredible.
Yeah, the whole thing was great. It's like when I first got there, Pat Patterson said, you should have been the $1 Million Man. I said, I know. That was my gimmick.